Hello, everybody. Not going to miss another Wednesday night if possible. Thanks, everybody, for coming in to the show tonight. Plan on having a good one. I don't know if we'll make it a long one tonight, but we're going to have it. Definitely going to have a good one. No guest tonight. Starting next week, I got some stuff planned for y'all. Got some guests lined up. Come in the show so you don't have to listen to just me all the time because you done heard about everything I have to say. I want to thank each and every one of you again for all your prayers that you sent our way for Kyrie and for the family. We thank each and every one of you. God bless you. God bless America. And we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We're going to chase a little bit of catfish tonight, talk a little catfish tonight. Been seeing some pretty good pigs in the pictures and stuff. But let's get some shout outs right quick. Here's James Kirkpatrick, Carolina Catfishers, Mr. Maurice Cason, Fishing and Freedom, the squirrels in the house. Who else we got in here? Don't want to skip nobody. If I skip you, I do apologize. There's Mr. Freddie. There's Hawaiian Fisherman. There's Camille. There's Ryan Swink. What's going on, Ryan? Jeremy Coven Fishing. John Patrick Jr. Yee Fishing. Hadn't seen y'all in a while. There's Mark Anthony. Good to have y'all in here, guys. There's Brian B. What's up, buddy? Who else we got in here? We do not want to miss nobody. I see Jacob's in the house and Sean. Got all kind of good channels. Guys, there's Mr. Lyle from Catfish Weekly. If you see new channels that you just now seeing their names, check out their channels. Please share the bait, share the love. Appreciate y'all coming in. Appreciate all the prayers that y'all give. Appreciate you understanding on some decisions that I've had to make lately. There's Mr. Mark Anthony's in the house. Philip Williams. There's Miss Nina. Who else? Real Gals is in the house. Thank y'all, thank y'all, thank y'all. You make me feel good. You warm my heart knowing that you come in. You still support. Old James has been doing this about 3 years now, getting close to 3 years on the show. I appreciate it. Started out sitting in my carport, just doing DIYs and going live. And started out, it was called Tackle Talk. But then when... Oh, my God, I just had a brain fart. Sorry about that. Golly, Kelly just had him on last night. He started doing Tackle Talk. And I thought it was more appropriate for somebody. What's up, Mark? Catfishing Crappy. Somebody, oh, my God, Chris. Yeah, Chris was on there last night to do the Tackle Talk. He has a lot of different equipment, which I don't have. I pretty much got the same equipment, abos and rods. But they're whiskers and stripes. He had enough equipment and enough knowledge to really do a show called Tackle Talk. He knows a lot about different depth finders and stuff like that. And somebody to do a Tackle Talk really needs that kind of knowledge. I felt that I didn't have the knowledge to pass along to y'all about stuff, and I will not guess at something or make something up just to have something to say. If I don't know, say, hey, James, you're wrong about that. But if I do, say, hey, look, this works for us. You might want to try it this way. I love all kind of input. That's the way we learn. So share it with other catfishermen, share it with other fishermen. I mean, you got to catch bait. You got to learn how to catch bait. What it takes to catch bait. We just seen a tournament this past weekend that was killer. They caught some good-sized bait fish. And here in North Carolina, we can use game fish also. But check your state regulations. South Carolina, you can't. North Carolina, you can. You just have to catch them with a hook and line and sinker. Well, not necessarily sinker, just hook and line. Get back to what I was saying. So that's kind of the way I started out, and I went probably a year or so before I brought in my first guest. Reason being, back then we had to use Google Hangouts, And Google Hangouts was a pain in the tail. Lyle he can tell you all about it. Half the time the people couldn't get a good enough connection, or you had to have the most updated internet or whatever. It was always something. So it was kind of a while before I jumped on that bandwagon, because it was tough and I don't have the best internet here anyway. But I see everybody else has got shows. They got decent internet, so their shows are looking good, sounding good. Good audio is a lot to do with a lot of it. But back to catfishing. So I got into catfishing when the wife and me decided to buy a boat. And I told her, I said, we get a boat, it ain't going to set. I'm going to fish. I'm going to get back into catfishing. I love my catfishing. I was gold mining like crazy. Me and old Freddie done some gold mining together. And so we got a boat, and I got into catfishing. So I went to YouTube, started looking up videos. First one I seen was Dieter Melhorn, Jeff Manning, and all fishing the lake that I love. Even though it's a pain in the tail during the summertime, because all the boat traffic, is still a lake that I love. It's always treated me good. So I got to watching them and learning from them. And my first trip out, I put about a 16 to an 18 pounder in the boat, and, a bunch of dinks, but I was happy. That was a good fish, and it was a blue, and it was on then. So I got to watching all these other channels and videos and stuff, and people shared a lot of great information. And I carried a lot of great information. I learned a lot from different channels, from different people from all over the country, really, how to catfish. That's the reason I decided to start doing some DIY stuff, sharing some information that I have and have learned. Some of the stuff that I share, what's up, Palmetto? Some of the stuff that I share with y'all is a lot of information that I've got from other people. Tried and true techniques. If it's not tried and true, I'm not going to say on here that I've done it or this works. If I don't know for sure that people catch fish doing it, then I won't share it with y'all. Thank you, Freddie. You the man. So that's the reason I'm going to keep going, doing what I do, trying to share the best information I can with y'all. But it's getting fall. Most of your lakes around North Carolina's down in the 60s, probably some in the high 50s, maybe in the middle 50s on some of them that's real mountainous lakes. I see some of you out west and north is getting a good bit colder waters coming in. So what are you going to do? Is your fish transitioning over to their wintering holes, or what? Around here, we catch blues year round. We can still catch flatheads in the winter if we have a mild winter, and you still might catch a young one here and there during the wintertime if they don't shut all the way down. But the blues, we can pretty much catch year round. I seen one of the lakes today was talking about, there's two old vets in the house, that the water was 61 degrees. To me, that's good water temperatures right there. The lakes are getting more stable right now. Kathmandu, what's going on? Don't want to miss anybody. So this is the time that I didn't get to do a lot of fishing. Got a lot of homework and stuff that I do in the fall. So if y'all got some tricks and techniques that you want to share on here, hopefully I can get to go in a week or so. I'm trying. I really am. And I need to know where to start. I don't have a clue. Right now, all I'm doing is getting up leaves and taking care of family and stuff like that. Yeah, Mr. Matthew put a 60 and a 62 on Lake Wiley this morning. Dang right. Dang right. There you go. 2 pigs. And a 51 too, didn't you, Mr. Matthew? On the fish. That man, that's why, guys, when I really tell y'all that keeping journals really, really does benefit you as a fisherman. Matthew Anthony can protest to that because that man reads back through his journals before he goes fishing and takes notes when he gets home. Water 60 to 62. I hear you, Matthew. That bite should be heavy right now. God, I got to get back out there. Journals, information. Because at the times when them fish scatter and they tough to find, then journals might help you take a bad day and turn it into a good day. What's up, Mr. David Martin? See, you looking at a new boat too. And the other one's still new. But yeah, information, catfish and crappie, 47 there. Woo! Yep, that water's getting a little chilly. I think last year, two winters ago, not last winter, but the winter before that, when we was on the fish hot and heavy in January in the shallow water, that water was 49 to 50 degrees right at the end of January, right at the 1st of February. So I don't think it's going. Yeah, I figured you'd need that windshield before it's over with, David. I think we're going to have a rough winter here. Hope not, but we ain't had one in a while, so we do. All y'all people out there in them snowy states, y'all keep that snow where y'all at, aka Papa T's in the house. Yes, that's another thing, John Patrick. Thank you. Tomorrow is Veterans Day. Actually, today is Marine birthday. 245 years, I think. So, yeah, but tomorrow is Veterans Day. Let's remember all of our veterans. Without these guys, we don't have America. We don't catfish. We don't do nothing without them. Got a lot of veterans in here on our channel. Guys, if you don't mind, stand up and throw a hand up and let us know who you are so we can appreciate what y'all have done. I know Mr. Freddie Beck is 20-year Navy man. Quite a few of you are in here. But I thank each and every one of you for what you've done. And of course, y'all know that, guys. That's what I'm all about. Hopefully we can get some for the tournament to come this coming year. That's going to be interesting. I think so. There's Mr. Philip Williams. Thank you, buddy. 2 old vets. Yep, I know y'all are. Both of y'all. I think you and your wife, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, 20 years in the Navy, retired. 2 old vets. Philip Williams. Thank y'all. Catmandu. There you go. Marine Corps. Thank you. I thought so, 2 old vets. I thought it was both you and your wife. I got a couple of friends. Both them are actually Marines. They was actually both Marines. That's where they met and retired out. But thank each and every one of y'all. I didn't get to serve, but my way of serving is right now giving back. Back to catfishing. So in 60-degree water around here on lakes, would you go shallow or would you go deep? Would you drag baits or would you anchor? I'm asking y'all questions. Y'all help me out. I hope to get to go by next week. So help me out. Would you go shallow? Would you go deep? Would you drag baits or would you anchor? Give me some answers, guys and gals. I ain't got to go in so long, it's driving me crazy. I was born in the sign of water. And water's where I feel my best, so I need to get my tail back on it. Me and Freddie need to get back on the gold. Missing that too. I've been watching a few gold videos. Anchor across deep and shallow and boat the spot. Yep. I got a couple spots I've been thinking about that. There's Richard. What's up, buddy? Keeping it real fishing. Most fish are coming deep last week. All right. Appreciate that information. Good to see you in here, Richard. I hope your house and stuff's coming along good, and you and your wife's about to get everything settled and the dust cleared out from all the work. Fish Creek for trout, maybe. I haven't done that in a long time, buddy. That is a relaxing. I watched David's videos. He's up there trout fishing. Water was cold, stuff freezing. Oh, I didn't know you, Ron. I didn't know you had a sluice box. You do a little panning and stuff, man. I have to take you. Well, that tells me you ain't scared of a little work. We took Freddie. He'll attest to that. We'll have quite a few people that want to go, and then they say, "Is that all the gold you get and all that work?" Well, yeah. If you don't want it, I'll keep it. And a lot of them don't come back. They don't. That number 2 shovel puts a whooping on them, don't it, Freddie? Dragging baits at your water temp. Yeah, Mark, that's kind of way I used to. Thank you, Miss Paula, and prayers coming your way too, lady. I promise you, there's lots of prayers coming your way too. When I'm dragging baits, it's usually if it's 45 degrees. Hold up, my computer's trying to restart. I'll try to drag about 0.3, a little under 0.4. But if it drops down any lower than that, I'm usually 0.25, just barely creeping along. Cinching up that big. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Richard. I wasn't sure because actually the last time I fished pretty good in fall was when I was producing a good bit of videos. It seemed like I did move down lake around Allison's and start dragging in there because the bait's loaded up. And I'm going to tell you guys, that's one of the craziest coves you will mark bait ever freaking where. You will mark big pigs in there. And you can drag bait all over their freaking heads. Now, you'll catch one here and there, but it's unless you catch them up and actively feeding, you can about just fish right on past them and drag it across their nose, and they'll just turn their nose up. I think their bellies are full. But if I mark fish that's up busting the crowd of shad or the crowd of perch or whatever, then I'm going to drag baits on them. That's fish that are actively feeding. What's up, Dale? And one of our old friends, old Stacy Gaston, posted up a video today. He'd caught a nice and starting out the day using one of the floats. So, guys and gals, the floats still work this time of year. You can make them work for any season. People use Santee rigs year round. That's suspending the baits up. You can do the same thing with the floats. I mean, it's up to you. Just don't rule out another tool in your toolbox. I don't care if you tie a Coke bottle on it or tie a daggum piece of styrofoam or a little red and white bobber, however you need to do to suspend your baits. Now, me personally, when I start catching a lot of catfish that are covered in mud, I usually take my corks off. I usually run just a plain Carolina rig with a shorter leader. And it seems like the bite is a lot better. Me and Junior Proctor talked the other day, and he said wintertime, he don't go smaller baits. He goes bigger baits. Me and Justin Wampus Cat back in that January, February, around in there. Now, we was catching most of them on small baits up in that shallow water. Yeah, Maurice, it's and I mean, I know it's still some of that stigma of float fishing for brim and stuff like that in the summertime, using the little red and white floats. A float is a total different tool. to be used. I don't care if you use mine or a bobber or any kind of bobbers, the Flores bobber. I don't care. Don't overlook something that can put fish in your boat. A different technique, to me, is the most realistic presentation you can offer. Once a month, I fish nowhere I like. Yeah, Richard, don't get burnt out on it, man. Plus, you're working yourself crazy right now. Everybody is. But yeah, we got so many different tools in our toolbox. Tackle box, toolbox. What's up, Mike? Them days when you're struggling to put fish and you're marking fish, don't be scared to try something different. Don't be scared to think outside the box. Thinking outside the box is where it's got catfishing to today. The Santee rig's been around for 50, 60 years. It's been around a long time. Them boys down on Santee figured out they had to get their baits up off that bottom. And I'm sure there's a lot of lakes that's like that, maybe even rivers, is that you need to get that bait up off the bottom or you're going to keep it hung up. It's all a learning, different places, different techniques. Just don't be scared to try something different. Even though it's something might be a little aggravating. Now, don't get me wrong. Using a float like the Flores or mine or whatever, a slip float, then you got to put a bobber stop and beads on your line. Well, all my rods has already got bobber stops on them. I went ahead and just lined them all up when I relined them and put bobber stops on all of them. And I usually got them set at different settings, so it won't be so far I have to adjust it. And the easiest way to adjust your bobber stop, I should have brought one of my rods. The easiest way, what I've done, is your rod, a lot of your catfish rods is 7.5 foot, some's 8 foot. That's pull off the length of your rod. All right, there's 7.5 foot. There's 15 foot. You know what I'm saying? So it makes it easier to kind of figure out what depth you want to put your bait. I have a gentleman that, what's up, Paul Frick? I have a gentleman that actually is fishing big baits and deep water over top of brush piles. Great technique. What he's doing is dragging the fish up out of those brush piles. You got to be a float watcher because he's going to try to take it back down in that brush pile with him when he grabs it. What's up, Mr. Fishing Fetish? So that's the technique. You could use the same thing vertical fishing, pulling the line straight off the side of your boat and dropping it. Tough to anchor unless you got anchor lock on your trolling motor. Then you can set over top of it. And I'm sure in some lakes, y'all have to go deep for fish. We do too at certain seasons. Those places, I know Richard and Mr. Matthews probably done got quite a few holes that's got some structure in it, and they've got it marked on a map or on their depth finder and wrote down in their journals. What's up, Air Run? So my next trip, I'm probably going to do, what's up, Wampus Cat? Cooking supper. I know you cooking up something good. Most of the time, I'll start out a day. If it's cold morning, but we're going to have bluebird skies, I'm probably going to run shallow and then start moving out as the sun comes up. But if it's cold, then I'm probably going to start deep and move shallow, chasing the bait. The bait's running shallow, you chase the bait shallow. But that's stuff that I figured out and I found out on my own a lot of times. And Wampus Cat, he's the one that convinced me to go shallow in the wintertime. Never would have believed it till I seen it. And I done it with him. Thank you, Wampus Cat. That was an eye-opener. I was stuck in that mentality that I had to go deep in the wintertime for catfish. That's a mindset that I don't know, you got over the years. You've heard it said and talked, and you accepted them days when the fish didn't bite. Well, it might not have been that the fish didn't bite. You just wasn't in the right place to catch the fish that were biting. If you're throwing up in shallow water and there in deep water, guess what? All the bait in the world ain't going to make them fish bite where you're at. Oh, yeah, you're right, Aaron. You are definitely right. But now when they're out and moving, in them cold waters, I'm going to say around 48 to 50 in the wintertime, bluebird skies, I go shallow. And when I say shallow, guys, I ain't talking about 20 to 10 foot. We're talking about anchoring up in 4 and throwing up in 1 foot. You can see fins sometimes in the water. But when you out there and you hook up on one and that 30 or 40 pound fish comes up and tail walks in 2 foot of water, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. I'm looking forward to this January and February, Mr. Wampus Cat. I don't know if your boat will be ready, but I'll have one and we'll go. We'll definitely go. We won't get there fast, but we'll get there. So wintertime, guys, where do y'all go to fish? Y'all have to go to deep waters where you're on y'all's lakes. Excuse me, I'm getting tongue tied. Do you go deep or do you go shallow like I was talking about on them days? And I'm sure that probably happens all winter long if it's pretty stable. Because the catfish coming up there to warm his back. He's letting that sun beat down on his back. Yeah, water will warm up a little bit, but the bait's back there. He's getting warmed up so he can eat and digest. They got to be warm to digest their food. So they're like an old turtle on the daggum log. They coming out there to get the sun on them. They just can't get out of the water and lay on the log. So 8:30. We're gonna have to. We might have to give a set of floats away tonight. I ain't giving no floats away in a while. Let me ask y'all a question so you can answer, and you got to answer it right and truthfully. How many of you think? Maybe that ain't what. How many of you think that there's more big fish caught in the wintertime than in the summertime? Wintertime, summertime, big fish. Now, I've seen some big fish all year long this year, but I'm starting to see people catch more on a regular basis as the water cools down. And I don't know if it's because there's not as much boat traffic or, wintertime. For some reason, I see a lot of big fish being weighed in the wintertime. There you go, Avid. Wintertime. What kind of fish? We're talking catfish right now, realistic. But yeah, I mean, bass, you can load up on bass too. You just got to find them deep humps and catch them schooled up on them deep humps, and you can do good on bass also. Seems like winter. That's what I'm thinking, Cat. I used to love the wintertime bass fish, buddy. I'd drag big Carolina rigs with them big old giant lizards on there and have a blast. And you can do that catfishing too, guys. Anchored up. You're getting bored. Fix you up a rod. Put your dragging weight on there, whatever. Put your chunk of bait. And work that area. Work it like you're bass fishing. Oh, yeah. Wintertime striper fishing can be a blast, especially if your lakes or stuff's got some hot water discharges from power plants. Woo! You get in there and get on them big white bass and striper and them hybrids. Hey, and them catfishes in there too, buddy. You can have a blast. I mean, a blast. I used to love it. Leave the boat at home and go stand elbow to elbow with them guys throwing rods. Having a blast. Our hot water plant don't usually run. It's an old coal-fired plant in the middle of the lake, and on the other side of the lake is nuclear, but the water coming out of there ain't real hot. It don't change the temperature that much of the lake. Now this winter, if it drops down and stays cold for an extended time where your little ponds and stuff around your house and stuff is starting to freeze, then they'll fire that old plant up. Not putting an anchor in the new moat, making myself fish different. Norman mostly this winter. Oh, I hear you, David. I got to get with you and go fishing with you. I want to go up there and get on some of those big white perch. You and Matthew both know how to catch them big white perch up there. So let's ask another question, and we'll do a random. Now I can't do that fancy stuff on here for names, so we'll do it how we always do it. Wintertime baits in your neck of the water. River, put on there whether you fish river or lakes, and your preferred winter bait. Everyone caught a 35-pound blue, caught Saturday, threw up a sand bass about 1.5 pounds. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's amazing what you'll see them throw up in a live well. It is amazing. I seen frogs. I seen rats. Seen all kind of crazy things be spit up. River and shad, skipjack and bluegill. Lakes, panfish. Yeah, I love panfish. Gizzard shad, river shad. That's what I'm hearing is that shad is the rule. River shad. Shad is the rule, but cut suckers. There you go. Yeah. In the river, skipjack, lake, gizzard shad. There you go. Now, see, he's figuring out something. And whiskers and stripes. What is your thinking on using two different baits? Is it because you've done it and you figured out that that's something that you need to do, or is it trial and error, or some old guy said, hey, over here we need to do this, over there we do that, and you tried it and it worked? Please share with us if you don't mind. Cut and live brim, slow dragging, shrimp, and chicken if anchored. Oh, there you go, Freddie. I love brim. And I found in the wintertime, brim can be a good bait. If you're catching them in deeper humps, we're more likely your bigger shell crackers and stuff, and brim are going to congregate in bigger schools. Those baits work great. I love them. I like catching them little old brim. It's got the little heads and stuff on them. Yeah, I do good. Go with like a 6/0 circle hook, downsizing. But I'm going to have to try some of the Junior Proctor's advice. I'm going to have to go with big baits this year. Instead of downsizing all of them, just downsize half and half big, half small. Because I always like to throw the biggest bait I can. The biggest bait is what I can catch at the time. I know Lyle says out there in his neck of the woods, he goes with shad in the wintertime. And then once he gets to a certain temperature on the lake, he goes back to skipjack. Whiskers and stripes is just a predominant bait. No skips in our lakes, and it seems the gizzards are a little harder to find in the river. There you go. There you go. Yeah, we don't have skips in our lakes down here or our rivers. It is a good bait. I've seen some and looked at some, and I thought that's an oily fish. It ought to work great. What's up, Nebraska Wildcats? Fishing with the Chad. I'd have liked to today. I tried twice to take me a nap, Chad. That didn't work out. There's Mr. PD's in the house. Shad is king there. I understand, Paula. You're in all of our prayers, lady. Keep up the fight. Keep up the fight. Mr. Kyrie's fighting. You can fight. We got to keep fighting till we get laid out. Fishing slow, double Kentucky rig on one pole with smaller chunks. There you go. And that was another question I was going to ask, and I'll draw the names from that question. Everybody that answers will be put in this drawing. If I can get off this cotton picking thing. What is your preferred rig for your wintertime fishing? If you're dragging baits, tell me the rig. If you're anchored, tell me your rig, please. Everybody that enters will be entered into it. Turn this down so I don't blow y'all's speakers out. To me, if I'm anchored over some deeper structure, I throw a 2-hook Kentucky rig. Carolina rig, Santee rig, Carolina rig, Santee, Carolina. It's shallow, Kentucky and Carolina rig, Santee. See, it's split. That's pretty wild. I mean, it's both of them are Carolina rigs. Just one's got a float on there. That is interesting. I figured I would have seen quite a few more of the Kentucky rigs with 2 hooks with smaller baits. That's pretty cool. Thank y'all. 3-way rig, fishing in freedom. Did I miss Mike coming here or Mark Anthony? Oh, there's Mike Ellis. What's up, buddy? Santee Dragon, Carolina anchored, Santee rig, Kentucky double hook. Depends on if I'm dragging or drifting. Make sure y'all hit the thumbs up. Thank you, PD. Yeah, I mean, and it really depends on what of your fishing structure or heavy structure, or if you're dragging baits down a channel edge. There's Mr. Irvin. What's going on, my friend? So that's kind of what I was thinking, but it really surprised me that they was mainly the Hawaiian style slide rig. Now, see, Hawaiian, hold up a minute. I want you to explain that. You want to come in? Let's see if I can find you on, are you on Messenger? I never heard of the Hawaiian style slide rig. Cast burrow in the mud. Got to get that bait on the bottom. That's kind of what I was thinking. If they're covered up in mud. All right, let me see if I can find you on Messenger right quick, buddy. Here we go. This computer doesn't mess with me. Lance, send me a message on Messenger. Let's see if I can find you. It's coming up. All right, I got you right here. I'm going to come over here, invite you. Copy. All right, Lance, make sure that your camera and your microphone is turned on. And I just sent you a link. And while we're waiting on him to come in here, everybody, we're gonna draw for some names. We're gonna draw a name for a set of floats. And here we go. PD Fishing. PD Fishing. Contact me, buddy. Send me your address and your name. I probably got it somewhere wrote down anyway. So, all right. Appreciate it, buddy. But resend me your address. I know I've got it wrote down somewhere from the tournaments and stuff, but it's easier just to go ahead and send it to me again. But congratulations. Thank you. PD's one of the ones that's been in here since day one. Matthew, Anthony, Richard, Wampus Cat. Can't thank these guys. Justin Fishing Fetish, Irvin. These guys have been with me since just about day one, and I can't thank y'all enough. It means the world. Justin was in there one day. I'd done a 4-hour live. This is back before anybody was doing them long live feeds. And we took a couple rides up and down the lake. Didn't get no fish till the very last little bit. Last hole, I throwed it out there. It wasn't out there 2 minutes. And it's a big 4.5 foot gar, big old gar. All right, PD, no problem, buddy. I want you to try them down there on the PD River and let me know how they work. And even if you're fishing off the bank, guys, if you get bored, just take one of them floats, put you a daggum dragon sinker on there instead of a regular weight, throw that thing up the lake, and let it bump back down the current with the current. Adjust your weight to slow it down, and you'll be like dragging baits down the lake in a boat. So many ways to use it. You use a cat rattle, and they come up on the float, live bait, current, and the rattle. Cuss bait, my options, bump with the rattle. Huh. Yeah, brother. Yeah, that's you and watching Gabby grow up has just been amazing. I've got to see a lot of them grow up. K-Bug, Jim's daughter, and a lot of them, Wampus Cat's young is growing up. We sat and watched Dieter's Grayson grow up. It's on here through a camera, and it's amazing. And we're blessed to be able to do that. And same here, Justin. Same here. He drove all the way down for that first tournament, and we froze our tail off, boys and girls. That January tournament, we froze our tails off. We had fun, though. Everybody finally got to meet, shake hands, hug necks, watch some of them fall off the boats. Justin and them got to hear a good thump when Kevin hit the dirt. But there's another one in the catfish family that needs prayers too, guys. And a lot of you made videos for it, and that's Pops. Canby's dead, Pop. They need all the prayers that they can get to. And Pop and Kevin has made us laugh over the years. Pop with his shenanigans and his twerking and stuff. So make sure you keep that rascal in your prayers too. His whole family. They good people. A lot of us could use prayers, and we thank each and every one of you. I was hoping old Kevin would have come in here tonight. Appreciate it, PD. I got your message, buddy. We'll get you a set on the way to you. Yep. Pops is good people. He's funny. Him and Kevin both. They used to have a show too. They went live. I like to see him. Maybe he can start doing a little bit with Pop on days he feels better. Didn't get too cold with your heated blanket. Yeah, that daggum Mervin had him a daggum a heated blanket he was wrapped up in on his boat. It was cold. Oh, spitting snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Oh, it was cold. But we had fun. We really did. A lot of fun. A lot of fun. I just hate that we didn't get a picture of everybody that was there the first time. I don't know if we'll ever get them all in that same spot again or not. I hope so. Oh, here we go, Mr. Hawaiian Fisherman. What's up, Mr. Lang?
Nothing much, just relaxing.
Thank you for coming into the show tonight, buddy.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir. Well, I figured if this is something different, I wanted to know. I've never heard one called that. So,
yeah, we used it saltwater fishing in Hawaii.
Oh, I hear you.
We used to slide. We could slide down. We did 5-pound live bait. We'd slide it down. So what it is, you got this D ring here, or this circle ring. It's got a barrel swivel on it.
Right.
So tie your main line to the barrel swivel, and you tie your sinker line on there. However long you make that sinker line, that's how high up your stop will be.
Right.
Well, you put this, what we call a pigtail, put that on there, and it's got a barrel swivel on the bottom.
That's what a lot of the planer boards come with, is that pigtail thing.
Yeah, just about the same thing.
Yep.
You tie your hook line on there, however long you want it. I usually do about 16 inches. So what you do, cast out just the lead, just the sinker.
Right.
And then once that gets set, you put your pigtail on there. Gonna have your hook and your bait on there.
Right.
You slide that down, and there you go. It'll slide all the way down to the stop like that, and you just wait for the fish to grab. What it does, it'll keep you up off the bottom. So it's a good flathead. It would be a good flathead rig.
That's pretty
Mr.
interesting.
Steve Adams used it the other day out on the Mississippi and caught 2 little nice flatheads with it.
So when he hits it, even if he's up here 10 foot away from that ring area, you won't get to actually put the meat to him till that pulls tight up against your slide, right?
Pretty much, yeah. Okay. And what it does, if your sinker's stuck, if it's caught in some structure, that sinker line will break.
Right.
And then this ring right here is up to 300-pound test.
Right.
It can hold. It's a strong ring. We've caught up to 200 plus pound fish in Hawaii on this rig. So
okay,
for it to handle the catfish, it'll handle it.
That is pretty interesting. I never thought about doing something like that. That with live bait, that would give that live bait a little bit more wiggle room around, so he probably looks a little more natural.
Oh yeah, they'll swim up and down the line too.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
The main line. And you can also get, like, if you're fishing in a lake, current, they got the weighted style.
That'll keep you pulled down.
Yeah, it'll help that bait go down quicker.
Well, I mean, even if you didn't have the weighted kind, all you could do is put a little bitty bullet weight or something on there.
Right.
Just enough to keep pulling him down.
Yeah.
That's pretty sharp. Because even if you could, that's pretty sharp, man. If you can't throw up into a brush pile, if you could throw down the side of it with that rig and allow that bait to run back and forth up and down that line in front of some brush pile, he's going to get some attention.
Yes, sir. And the nice thing is, when you're casting out with this rig, you ain't got to worry about losing bait. Because you can launch a
daggum chunk off the end of your line like that, like a bullet.
Yeah.
That's pretty sharp. I appreciate you sharing that with us.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty sharp. I never thought about that, but that is definitely a technique. You could cover, man. guys that bank fish, because we put our rods up in the air.
Yep.
Oh, you could cover so much water like that. Really. You put it out, that bait could be swimming back and forth. He could be covering 15 or 20 foot.
Yes, sir. I mean, Mr. Steve Adams, he's 70-something years old, and he cast it out, he said, about 50 more yards.
Oh, yeah. I can see
than
that.
he normally does, because he ain't got to worry about slinging a bait off.
And if that bait is feeling vulnerable, something coming around him, he's going to try to run to the bottom to hide.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Or something comes up, then he's going to come to the surface.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I'm one of these people. My brain is always constantly thinking of different and new things. I mean, that's how my bobber has progressed from a piece of junk that I was making to what I got now, is because I'm not scared to try something different. You know, somebody had to think of like free lining. Free line is my favorite technique. You got to be a line watcher though. And usually it's best up in shallower water. You can do it in a little bit of a current. Like I like to fish next to bridges where the lake narrows. I'm out of the camera. The lake narrows down. Even when they're not full of water, you will get a little bit of a current right there. Perfect time for that. You throw it up there and let it drift down. But that technique right there, you done got my brain a working.
Yeah. You can get these at it's called highfishgear.com.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, Fishing Freedom was asking.
It's a small bait and tackle shop in Hawaii, in the town I grew up in.
I'm sure that they can go back on the video. Hold it up one more time for a minute. Guys, take your screenshot. He's going to hold up that rig, that clip. That's what they're asking about. Where can you get that circle clip thing? All right, right there. And I'll stop. Let the camera try to focus. There you go, guys. That ought to give you can screenshot that and get you a picture of it. Then it'll help you look it up. I imagine you can look under saltwater rigs and might find it too.
Yeah, or you can go to highfishgear.com.
Okay.
And I mean, I paid for, let's see, I got the receipt right here for a 10-pack of the ring stops. I paid $7.99 for them.
So it's called ring stops.
Yes, slide bait stopper is what it's called.
There you go, guys. If you do use this technique, give Lance a holler. Let him know how it worked in your water and where and how you used it. Let me know too. I'm curious.
If you go to my channel, I got a video up with it, and it has the link for the website for High Fish Gear.
Gotcha.
In the comments, and that'll take you right to their website. And you can, I'm not sponsored by them, but I mean, they're a mom and pop shop in the town I grew up in Hawaii. So just trying to support
mom and pop shops. Send me, now that you got me on Messenger, send me their information, because I'll forget it before I get out of here and get back down to the house. I'll forget the name you said. So send it to me in Messenger, the name of them, and I'd like to send them a little bit of business. I might even send them a pack of floats for them to see if they might want to purchase some for down there.
Yes, sir. I'll send you all the info.
That's pretty cool. Man, I thank you for that. I like new gig rigs and stuff that people's tried that's outside the box. And that is something definitely outside the box.
Yeah. At least for catfishing.
For catfishing, yes. That is pretty neat. That because you put a daggum old bank sinker on the bottom of your line and you ain't got to worry about bait. You could fling the fool out of that son of a gun.
Yep, exactly.
I mean, that's Oh, good God, you got me thinking all kind of junk. Some good places. See, now that makes you want to think. It does me. Where can I use this rig?
Yeah.
Whether I'm bank fishing or even on a boat. Where would this rig work good for me? What's up, Lee Evans?
Man, I got a buddy in Hawaii. He fishes in the channels in between the islands. He'll go out on his kayak and he'll drop straight down with this rig.
Dang
And
right.
he'll fish in the channels for tuna and whatever grabs on.
And that would allow you to cover the depths, because if those fish are running, say, at 15 foot over 30 foot, they're suspending. Well, that fish being not restricted too bad, because all he's got is just a hook and a line.
Yep.
He's liable to go up and be suspended in the same depth.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's so much potential there. It's crazy. I would have never thought about allowing that bait to do that. Because most of us, it's on a hook and it's stopped. It's tied to something.
Right.
Dang right. It's pretty sharp. That's pretty sharp. So you're no longer in Hawaii?
No, sir. I'm in Wisconsin now. I went from Hawaii when I was a teenager. We moved to Texas when I was 17. When I was 26, I moved up here to Wisconsin. And I just got back into catfishing this year.
Dang right. Well, that was a big shot from one extreme to the other, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't even know they had catfish in this state. Yeah, we started targeting them.
Right here, 2 old vets. Where would you hook the live bait with that rig?
The same way you would. I'd go under the dorsal fin.
I see. If I want him to go up, I'll hook him underneath the bottom of the back tail and just clip the bottom part of his tail off. And it makes him fight upward.
Yeah.
If I want him to go down, then I might hook him in the nose, or most time if I'm hooking big baits, it's out of the mouth and between the eyes. As long as you don't hit that brain, you won't kill him. And that makes him kind of want to go down. If you're suspending him like under a float, I'm like you, I hook him right behind the dorsal fin.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of hook him sideways so that hook won't roll under him and get in the way and get stuck in the fish instead of the fish's mouth. But Whiskers and Stripes said, that's what I was thinking. Fish that rig under a float and let that bait run up and down. You exactly right. That's what I was thinking, Whiskers. Use one of my floats or Chris's floats or anybody's floats and float that thing straight up and down vertical.
Mm-hmm.
But you just have to remember, guys, that you'll have to reel in that slack kind of slow until you feel something pull tight. Because if you try to set a hook, then you got that float you got to make up for. Plus, that fish might not be down there at that ring. If he ain't at that ring, then you can't set the hook on him till you feel tightness on that ring. That's just like learning how to use circle hooks for the first time. You got to learn not to set the hook. You got to just let him load up. And if you can have patience to let him load up, I can see where that's going to be a killer. I can't wait to try that rig. I can't wait to try that. Well, buddy, Mr. Lance, Hawaiian Fisherman, thank you for sharing that with us. Post up a couple pictures of it on your site.
All right.
Pictures.
Yeah.
Because I want to try to find me some of those rigs. And even if I probably got the stuff to build my own rigs with it, but either way, I'm definitely going to try that out. I'm definitely going to try that out. The clips I use on my bobber would be, yeah, I can see that. Well, Mr. Hawaiian Fisherman, thank you for sharing that information with us. That was a new bit. And for those of you that hadn't seen it on his channel or haven't been to his channel, go check him out. share the love, give him a couple subscribes and a thumbs up. Appreciate y'all coming in here tonight. Appreciate all your prayers. Don't forget those in the Catfish family. Lyle also, his brother ain't doing real good right now, so throw the prayers up for Lyle's brother. Everybody, God bless you. God bless America. Don't run off, my friend.
All right.
And we'll see y'all next Wednesday night. God bless. Good night.